Divine greetings and gratitude. Welcome to the Saiyonan Archives. I'm super excited to be in your presence, family. Thank you so much for coming back to our sacred space. If you are new, actually, my name is Nuna. I am a seer, a writer, a poet, a witch, and the keeper of the archives. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. What I'm doing right now is just anointing these candles real quick here with just a little bit of spiritual protection oil as I just kind of see fit. That's the reason why I'm doing this now. And that's what you're seeing me do. Thank you so much for tuning in to this reading. We're going to be focusing on, third time's a charm. We're going to be focusing on the energy of purging and banishing and the energy of dominance. That's what we're going to be focusing on today. What are we purging? And what are we going to be focusing on dominating? That's essentially what the energy is. I know that this energy is definitely bleeding from the Scorpio new moon. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we even really get into the reading, I wanted to stop real quick and give you guys I wanted to show you something because I know that I'm making it more of a habit to show you guys certain things so that we can all be in sync when it comes to what we do here in the archives, because I'm still in the beginning stages of finding my people here in this space. I wanted to introduce to you the Purge and Banished fixed candle. And the reason why I want to introduce this to you is because this is a part of how we work our magic to transcend beyond our pain and our suffering, and also to expand our consciousness. When we are dealing with the purge and banishing, first and foremost, the reason why you'd ever want to do any type of purge and banishing ritual is for the sake of getting rid of any unwanted stagnant energies that could be plaguing your life, that could be blocking you from receiving any kind of blessings, any kind of, whether it be income or whether it be spiritual abundance and whatever it may be. Purge and banishing is an act of left-handed magic where you are utilizing your will, your power, and also surrendering to the divine so that you can get rid of any unwanted energies that are wreaking havoc on your life. Also, with this purge and banishing energy, you're also meant to exercise and expel any energy, again, that is or has any type of malevolent type of energy to it. Okay, so this deals a lot with, again, banishing, exorcisms, expelling, protection, purging, purification, and releasing. Whenever you're working with something like this candle here, the Purge and Banishing fixed candle, you are more than likely not going to get back the very thing that you are banishing, because that is exactly what I charged and blessed this candle to do. And if you do get it back, it will be very, 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 very difficult for you to get that back, specifically because it's charged, it's blessed, it's consecrated. I am working with my left hand when using this candle. Of course, I'm touching it now with my right, but that's because I'm showing it to you. And what makes this candle so powerful is not just the candle itself, it's also your intention, it's also your energy, and it's also the seriousness that you have when you're going into this magic. I'm going to let you know now that if you are not ready to actually dispel or expel or release whatever energy you're trying to get rid of, if you're not truly ready for that, it's going to show. And if there's something that you yourself are holding on to, or it's like a bad habit, or if there's something that you yourself are not allowing to let go of, whether it be a part of yourself, it's going to show. So not only does this work for other people and things, it also works for you because you're working directly with your subconscious mind. Okay. And sometimes our subconscious mind, or often we don't fully understand or maybe not be fully aware of the things that are going on, but it's not until our conscious mind we're aware of it, or when we're in our intuition, right, when we're moving with our intuition, it then becomes apparent, and then we can move from there. And that's what makes this this candle so powerful. Also, I have the oil to match it, of course, because how are you going to work your magic if you're not using your oils, right? So this is also in conjunction with the Purge and Banishing candle as well. So yes, and this essentially works with the same thing. When you're using these oils, this oil, the Purge and Banishing oil, positively do not anoint yourself or your personal garments, okay? Do not do that unless you want to walk around with shit falling off, God forbid, hair falling out and shit like that. You're like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Please don't. And then we also have here the dominance candle. I know that when it comes to traditional workings, it's actually considered domination, but I like to say dominance because why? Because I'm extra AF. And also because that's just what I felt called to naming it. Now, dominance, this has everything to do with you dominating situations, people, wink, wink, and, areas of your life and whatnot. So whenever you're working with this type of energy, the dominance energy, it's used for you to command and control a situation and draw your power back or tap into your power when it comes to you taking full control. If you are someone that has a lot of control issues, I would not recommend using this to gain more control. You can actually use this for allowing yourself to become more balanced when it comes to exercising said control, if that makes sense. If you are someone that finds yourself disempowered and you want to dominate a situation or field because you're tired of feeling small, this is actually the candle that you would want to work with. The reason why I chose to make this candle black at the top and then red at the bottom, and I also have one where you can just have a strictly red one if you want to, like if you're working with pure will, that's fine. But the reason why I chose the black and the red is because black helps you to break the energy down. It helps you to completely consume and to, again, not devour the energy just yet, because when you get to the red, that's when you take full control and you devour it. But when you're working with the black, as stated, it helps you to break the energy down, and it helps you to see the parts of the thing that you're trying to control that may go undetected, right? So everybody has a weakness. There are things that have weaknesses, if you will, personifying it. But when you're dealing with that kind of energy, you have to know the energy. So when you're diving deep into those darker realms, right? When you're diving deeper into the void, you're able to gain access to things that are not so apparent. And when you do that, when you start to work with this divine feminine energy, you then go in with the masculine energy here, and then you use that to assert your will and dominate when you're ready. Right? For some people, they don't need that. They already know they work divinely with their intuition and things like that. And so what they want to do is they just simply want to project their will. That's when they want to work purely with red. You work with the red one also when dealing with things like kink and BDSM. That's when you want to work with the red one, or you can just kind of work with either one. It really just depends on your intentions and what you wish to do with it. And of course, I do have the dominance oil that is in conjunction with that. And this is what it looks like. Now, what makes my dominance oil different from what other people may have, I really don't know. But there's a very special kind of oil that I use as a base, and I really don't want to give that away. I kind of already gave it away before. I can't remember, but if I did, I'm not gonna say when or where, because my recipes are my recipes. I'm pretty sure you might be able to guess it. If you work in magic and you work a lot with herbs and resins, and I'm pretty sure you may know what I did there. But let's just say that this oil is so amazing because it has a lot to do with Mars exalted in Capricorn. So Capricorn gives you, or Saturn, right? Because Saturn rules Capricorn. It gives you that energy that lasts a long time, but it also helps you to it helps you to project the power in a very responsible way. And when Mars is in Capricorn, it's exalted because it's allowed to be ambitious, but also it's more disciplined, right? Because it understands, okay, while I'm working with Capricorn, I know that Capricorn's going to go the long haul, and Capricorn's going to make this last a long time. Capricorn's going to provide me that structure so that I can assert my will. So Capricorn or Saturn teaches me how to be a bit more controlled and implement the energy when it's needed. That way it's not just spilling over everywhere, right? Destroying things. So Mars is able to be itself, but in a very controlled and a very responsible and mature way. That's when you're dealing with the dominance and with the dominance oil, with the dominance candle. Why are we doing this in the reading? Why is this important? Because I feel like we're in a space in our lives where we're starting to become the embodiments of the very things that, or who we're meant to be. And for some people, they've had a really hard time dominating and controlling certain things because of a fear that they may have had, or because they may not have been in their power, really. I mean, that's really the reason why. And I feel like perhaps maybe at the time of the full moon or at the time of the new moon or whatever it may be, you may be really in a space where you're really just wanting to take control of your life and you want to get rid of the energy that is not serving you truly. And I know that we say this a lot, and how often do we truly believe this, right? Like, how often do we really sit and say, okay, I really want to purge this, I really want to banish this, and actually are serious about it? If you are here in this space, then you are absolutely serious about it. And also, we're going to be working with the tarot of sexual magic. So yes, you're going to see, certain bodies here. The first card to come out actually was the Hangman, which is so funny that we're talking about purging and banishing and dominance, because when you're dominating, you're actually controlling. And actually, this card came up in reverse. So we're going to leave that in reverse. The Hangman is the first card to show up, right? If you hear anything in the background, my sincerest apologies. I don't know what's going on with my 4-year-old. He sounds excited about something. And if you are new here, our kids here, they get really excited and they don't be quiet for no one. Okay, so I blew this up by accident. There he is. Okay, let's go ahead and light that again. Okay, I've been really loving these what are those called? They're not incense, matches. Okay, exactly. Four of Pentacles. Wow, Four of Pentacles is showing up. Of course it would. I'm gonna make sure to link these things down in the description box. By the way, I have kinky poems. I don't know if you guys want to read those or not, but I may or may not share those. I mean, we are in Scorpio season, so I might. We'll see. So, of course, you have the Page of Wands, it looks like. So this is definitely bringing me to some sort of exploration. I'm hearing the words like you're wanting, okay, Two of Pentacles is also showing up here as well. So it almost kind of feels like there's something that you may be wanting to explore, but for some people, they may feel as though it's forbidden or off limits, and they're having a really hard time saying, okay, I really do want to experience this thing. I'm just afraid of what's going to happen, or I'm afraid of how people are going to see me if I decided to do so. But I do feel like it's one of those things where someone is truly wanting to give their energy to exploring something, and they're having a really hard time. What they're looking for is some type of they're looking for the okay. Like someone is looking for the okay here. They're looking for some type of permission, and they really are. So they're looking for some kind of permission. Like that's just kind of what it feels like. I'm also kind of sensing, which card is this? Oh yeah, the Hangman, of course. And then you also do have here the Two of Pentacles. You have here the Four of Pentacles. Okay, the Four of Pentacles. And then you also have I believe this is the Page of Wands here. And then you also have the World. I'm seeing pomegranates. Like I'm getting a sense of pomegranates. You may have a strong connection to Persephone. Oh, look, Debo's out. Oh, Debo, by the way, is a dog from next door. He's so sweet. He's a pit bull. And this actually used to bother me. I don't know why I'm going to tell you this, but this used to bother me, and it kind of still does. The pit bull is black. And they named the dog Debo. I kind of find that to be disturbing, but I don't know if that's just me projecting or what, but anyways, no one's coming out. That's weird. Okay, you guys, I may or may not have to stop the reading to go get Debo. That's if no one goes to get him by the time, if I'm still doing this reading, I'm going to go outside to get him because he is known for running down the street. So basically, yes, it really does look like someone is wanting to ask for something, but also they're holding on to something. Spirit, what is it that this person is holding on to? The Hermit. Wow, the Hermit. And it's coming up in reverse, but I want to flip it upright. Someone is not allowing themselves to explore. Like they're not allowing themselves or giving themselves permission to do something. And I feel like spiritually you just don't feel fed. And I feel like if I had to ask Spirit, like, what were you purging? It's the need for you to believe or feel like things are off limits to you, and you hoarding and keeping these certain ideas that you have to keep yourself hidden. And I think that, and I feel like spirit is wanting you to explore certain things. Now, let's just say that this is not necessarily anything sexual, right? Let's just say it's not anything sexual or anything dealing with kink or things like that, right? Or lust or whatever it may be. What this could 100% be is something that you truly do desire, that you know that if you were to get into, that you would completely dominate it and you would completely be fulfilled because of how good you are at it. But somehow you decide that you want to keep yourself off limits from it because you're afraid that if you were to do this or shine in this way, that people would judge you, or people will think ill of you, or people will think a certain way towards you if they saw this version of you. But the truth is that we're all multidimensional, and spirit is reminding you now that you don't have to feel like there's something wrong with you for being able to dominate in a certain field, or being able to show up in a way where people may not expect you to. Because the more that you keep moving with those expectations or limit yourself, right? The more that you limit yourself because of what people may think of you, that's when you'll start to feel this shift or this pull or this desire to do it even more. Quick update. They went to go get Debo, thank God. So it's interesting because I just heard the word dance. Someone may be good at dancing, or someone may be good at something that people may have made fun of them for when they were younger. This is bringing me to you getting ready to shine for something. The world card here, should I move this down? I feel like I need to move this down. Hang on a second. Okay, so moving forward, right? It really does feel like what you're going to start doing, or what you're purging actually, is this idea or any habits that keep you away from really shining in a way that you know that you truly can shine. Because your life has in a way felt kind of limited, but the reason why it has felt limited was because you're not allowing yourself to fully explore these gifts. It's like someone who's really intuitive, or someone who has all of these amazing powers, and their powers want to expand, but they're afraid of letting it expand because of how they may be seen out in the world, or because people in their community may judge them, or they don't want to feel like they're a monster, or whatever it may be. Place whatever idea you have, right? And then when you're working with the banish, the candle and like the oil and things like that, when you're doing your ceremony and your ritual, these things allow you to push out this stagnant energy that's clogging your solar plexus, that's clogging your root chakra, right? Your root chakra energy. I like to call them like root energy centers and things like that. I don't always go with like what's popularly known, but for the sake of this, for relation, I will just say the root chakra system, right? Or the solar plexus system. So once one thing is blocked, then that means that everything else becomes blocked. But what this does is, when you're working with the purge and banish, what this does is that it allows you to completely remove, completely purify, and exercise any of the energy, the thoughts, the ideas, the habits, the whatever it may be that's keeping you stuck in this one place. Where there is a purge and banishing, you can also expect for a rebirth. And with this rebirth, you can expect, right? You can truly expect for you to be able to completely control not only yourself, but situations around you where you may have felt disempowered, right? Now, this is not one of those things where you want to completely dominate a person for the sake of doing so, because there are people who do that. But in this instance, what you're doing when you're working with this dominance candle and oil for you, it's truly for you to allow yourself to reclaim your power back, and allow yourself to be seen as one who is completely dominating that field. Now, the thing is that when you are dominating something, it doesn't mean that other people don't have control. It just means that people know not to overstep you. It lets people know that although you may be dominant in this way, so am I. And that means that there must come with a level of respect. I'm not here to listen to you per se. I'm here to do what I am good at. And when you're dominating, it really allows you to pull back your power. But not even just that. Think about it this way. It doesn't only have to do with you dominating people and situations and things. Sometimes it's just simply you completely devouring and just fucking it up in your role. It could just simply be your role. If you're working in a team, right, then you are dominating the very thing that you are doing without you projecting that will onto other people, unless they are trying to dominate you. And you say, no, we're not going to do that. This is not what we're here for. And you step into your power and you allow the dominance to be the boundary and to be the power, because I want to remind you that this is actually a power oil, and that's what makes it different. Because when I named it, again, I named it the dominance power oil. You see? This camera is trying to focus. There you go. The dominance power oil. Why? Because it allows you to tap into your own power. It allows you to tap into your own command, but also it's divinely led. So you're allowing yourself to receive divine wisdom from spirit. So, and from your ancestors and your guides to dominate a certain area of your life. Truly, people think about dominance and they think about, oh, I'm going to, do this to someone, or I'm going to overpower them, or I'm going to make them feel weak and things like that. No, that's when you're working with really immature and untamed energy and misguided energy. And that's not what this is about. This is about you being able to fully dominate the very thing that you can do. Draw your power back and implement it in a way that is good for you and also for the collective. That's the way that I work with the dominance oil and the dominance candle. Now, my Mars does sit in Capricorn in the 9th. So it's easy for me to take on that more leadership role, or that spiritual leadership role in a way. And I've also learned that because my energy itself, right, like my energy could be very big, like my energy could fill up a room really fast. And that's just what it is. So when I work with the dominance oil and the dominance candle, I'm allowing myself to kind of ease the energy. That way it doesn't feel so over consuming to other people, right? And that's just the way that I choose to work my own magic. No, it's not me limiting myself, but it's more so me of being very aware and being in control of myself. That way other people don't feel like I'm just dominating them. Does that make sense? Like some people they naturally feel small when they're in the presence of people with big energy. And so for me, I like to use mine with higher wisdom. Now, it's not to say that you aren't going to do that, but I'm just naming that because I want to give you like a real experience because, well, obviously I work with the energy, right? So that's just my way of saying that. And when you're working with the purge and banishing, again, this is you allowing yourself to purify. Also with the Two of Pentacles here, you are letting go and purging anything that's too much. Right? If it's too much, if you're not allowing yourself to just let the energy be, if you're holding too much, if you're doing too much, and it's preventing you from being able to put your energy into what you love, then that is what you're going to purge. If you don't need it, you don't need it. This could be overspending. This can be undereating. This could be overeating. This could be too much of something or too little of something, right? This helps you find the balance. And it's interesting because for the sake of balance, what Spirit is saying is that it is okay for you to work with that left hand. What I'm also hearing is, I think it's called ambidextrous or something like that, where you can do things with both hands. For example, I'm teaching myself how to write with my left hand, and I also do other things with my left hand apart from just magic, right? Because you can use your left hand and your right hand to do things, and it helps you to expand. Like, I don't know why, but it's that neuroplasticity. And that's the reason why I'm hearing that. But anyway, so basically with with the Hangman in reverse here, this is not one of those things where Spirit is saying that you need to continuously keep yourself off limits to this. It's one of those things where Spirit is saying you can jump down now, like you can come down and you can put your energy into this. It's okay that you do that. Wow. Okay. Wow. Magical power. I know y'all seen that. Exactly. Magical power. This looks like a dragonfly. The dragonfly may be of significance to you. And so with the magical power here, it really does kind of make me feel like there's someone who is such a great manifester. And it's not even just about you manifesting, right? Because I feel like we're always manifesting things, like we're always manifesting things and whatnot. But I also feel like with the magical power here, again, I just feel like your powers want to expand and there's something that you're really wanting to explore. With the World card here, this is you allowing yourself to get out and breathe, especially the fact that the Hermit card is here in reverse. The Hermit card being here in reverse says, I don't want to keep myself in this cave because I'm always, I'm analytical. I'm always asking the question why, but I'm not experiencing enough. Spirit is saying that you need to get hands-on experience. You're needing to get hands-on experience with something. Okay, and then these two, let's see what these are. Financial security. Exactly. Financial security. And then you have Luna, which is moon. And with these, right? How many did I pull? I only pulled 3. I'll pull one more. I will pull one more. I just heard the words Julius Caesar. I don't know why that came through. Julius Caesar. Oh, well, we look at, oh, navigation. I'm here for it. So you have here magical power, financial security. You have Luna, and then you also have navigation. Yep. I feel like with these coming out, this makes me feel like someone here is more than likely going to start working with these energies during certain moon phases. I really want you to start studying the moon phases and really start to study divine feminine energy and start to study the occult and esoteric symbolism. Really start to study deeper into that, because there's something that you could be uncovering that you could implement in your life that'll help you navigate better. And also it'll bring you a lot more security. I also just heard that it costs money to make money. So this could be you understanding that in order for you to expand, grow, and evolve, you may have to give a little bit. Right. And it's good for you to just, get what you can and allow it to work for you. And also, I don't know what it is, but with this magical power here, it's reminding me of the magician. It's definitely bringing me to the magician vibes, of course. I feel, though, however, that in this time in your life right now, what I do feel is that with this dominance, what I'm hearing is that you just have to start asserting yourself, because I can feel that someone is not asserting themselves. It could be you in your day to day. If you are going to wash those dishes, then damn it, be the best dishwasher you possibly can. Dominate those dishes, like dominate the dishes, right? Dominate that dish soap. It's so funny because it's like, what are you talking about? And to be quite honest, it's you just allowing yourself to be in the energy of, I'm about to conquer this sink. I'm about to clean the hell out of this sink right now. I'm about to take these dishes. I'm about to clean them up. I'm about to put them in a dishwasher. And by the time they're done, they're going to be spick, span, and clean. And guess what? Because I made it happen. And it's this act of you allowing yourself to assert yourself and being proud of what you can do. It's so interesting that the energy of this dominance, what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling truly is that you are being called to be proud of what you can do. Be proud of becoming the master of this, because it's not about you mastering other people. It's about you mastering yourself. And that's how you truly work with these essentials in an elevated way. That's just truly what I feel. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple of more cards because we're not going to make this reading too long. Let's go ahead and see. I want to keep, what card was that? Truth behind the illusions. Love it. So this is definitely a moon and Libra. The truth behind illusions. Exactly. With the truth behind illusions, I feel like this, we mentioned something about this earlier when we were talking about the dominance oil. We mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the black portion of the dominance candle. That's where you're able to work with your divine feminine energy to peer into things that may not be as apparent. That's you discovering the truth behind the illusions. See, the black here, it can be deceiving, but that's depending on what happens in the mind. Because where there is darkness, there is a projection of light, which is your mind, your thoughts being projected, right? Because think about the blackness, it holds everything, right? Think about the dark, the void. It holds and contains everything. So when you're in this field of pure potential, anything can come through. But when you're working with this, it's like, let me see the truth of what this thing is, and then let me draw my power from that space. Okay. For some of you, you're mastering taking your power or drawing power from the denser energies, and you're learning how to implement them in a way that can be beneficial to your life without wreaking havoc. And you're learning how to master that. You're learning how to master it. Okay, sharing tales of love and romance. Okay, that's so interesting because I put this card back and it came out anyway. And then this is Lilith and Gemini, sharing tales of love and romance. It's so interesting because I feel like with Lilith, I believe this is Lilith. I think this is a symbol for Lilith. I can't remember. I cannot remember. But anyways, so basically, let's just say this was, right? This is one of those energies where you allow yourself to draw your power back and you are completely untamed, and you knowing that you choose to be in love because that is what makes you empowered. You believe in love and you love love, and therefore you tell yourself, I am love and therefore I receive love and I am empowered to share that. And I purge and banish anything that keeps me away from experiencing that divine love. And you do not allow yourself to deviate away from that if you feel like that is what's true for you, because the illusion can be that you're not worthy of it, and the illusion can be that you don't need it, right? And then the purity of freedom, exactly, it's the freedom to explore, the freedom to experience, and the freedom to be. I love that. I love that. Wow, how beautiful is that? And you allowing yourself to talk to the moon. What I'm hearing is to talk to the moon. You may be a moon child. I'm getting Pisces energy. Pisces and like Capricorn energy is coming through right now. Capricorn, you are so much more powerful than what people give you credit for, and you feel a lot more deeply than what people may believe. Look at this. Truth. Wow. Aquarius, truth. This is you standing deep into your spiritual power, and you really being honest about the things that you want, and you not allowing yourself to be pulled away from the things that you truly do want, and you know you do. And Spirit is saying, I really know that you want to do this. It's like you're pulling yourself away from it out of fear. It could be whatever it is, but if you were looking for a green light, this is your green light. The World card here is your green light. This is your green light to go for that thing. If you don't know exactly how to do it right now, you can plan for it. When you're in the winter months, that's the time for you to go back, reflect on everything, because once springtime comes, that's when things start to bloom again. That's when things start to bloom again. How interesting is it that we have trials here and we have Sagittarian energy? So with trials here, you start to understand the higher reason or the higher wisdom from it. And you pull from the higher realms, this knowledge, this wisdom that can be applied, right? We're all born with some kind of wisdom in us, right? That's the reason why when we look to our birth chart, we find wisdom. Where Jupiter is in your birth chart, there's your wisdom. Exactly. Attraction. And I feel like with attraction here, it's you allowing yourself to simply be attracted and aroused by this thing and allowing it to just allow itself to be in your life, right? I'm not struggling. I'm allowing. I'm allowing. That's the energy. I'm allowing. But not only that, I will completely come in, dominate, fuck it up, leave, come back, do it again, all over again, go back, leave, and, just keep repeating the cycle. Why? Because I feel like I'm empowered. And it's not until I feel like it's enough, when I know that Spirit says it's enough, my child, then you stop and you go and you wait for the next thing. You wait for Spirit to give you more direction. And that's exactly what makes this so powerful. And I want you to remember that. Okay? This is you learning how to use scorpionic energy in a higher way, because those people who don't know how to utilize energy, it will be, okay, feelings, Gemini. You have Gemini energy present a lot here. This is letting me know that Spirit is wanting you to know you don't have to intellectualize your feelings all the time. You don't need to do that. You can just feel your feelings and be okay with the fact that you have them. And you can also allow yourself to express those feelings in a very creative way. That was what Spirit kind of brought me to. I can't remember exactly what else I was saying. So, yes. I'm going to give you a quick tip here before we go. And I'm going to make sure to link the Dominance oil and candle, and then this Purge and Banish fixed candle and the Purge and Banish oil down in the comment section, and also as well in the description box. Before I go though, I want to let you know you can work with Obsidian by taking a spiritual protection oil like the one that I have in my hand that's available in the Etherium. You take it, and after you cleanse and charge your energy and will charge the crystal, you let it know that you need it for protection and for banishing and things of that nature, which is funny because you can actually use this in a purge and banishing ritual. You can take an obsidian and only reserve it for purge and banishing purposes. In this instance, I use it for protection. For this one, I use it for protection. So I will take a spiritual protection oil, and then I'll make sure that this is well wiped off and cleaned off and burned with, copal or whatever else I'm going to burn it with, or give it a smoke bath in. And then I'll anoint it with this, and then I'll pray over it. I'll set the intention, and then I'll put it in the spot where I need it to be. You can actually use that in your working. You can also use this for, like as stated, purge and banishing rituals and, things like that. And yes, if you want to know how to work with obsidian in a purge and banishing ritual or in a protection ritual, or just some quick tips or whatnot in another video, let me know down in the comment section. I'm more than happy to do that for you. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in to this reading and to this message. I hope that you receive what you needed from it. If you need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at the Saiyonanpath.org. You can also follow along with me on Instagram and on Substack. I'll make sure to have everything that you need linked down in the description box as well as in the comment section. That way you do not miss it at all. Subscribe to this YouTube channel because we do want to get monetized. Send this to a friend or a family member that you think will benefit from it. And remember, dominate. Remember, purge and banish. Remember, receive what you need and be open to receiving all of your blessings. And yes, there's nothing else that I can say right now. So I love you. Be well, and I will catch you in my next video.